Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. You know what that means? That means they've started the electrical already. But before I get into that, I want to look at some other things first. And one of the main things is I was walking around today doing my daily walk around the neighborhood, and I saw them out here. Not only were the electricians here, the framers were here, 4 framers, and the concrete truck was out here in the front. And there were some guys pouring concrete. So let's just get out here and show you the concrete first. And it looks like, remember I showed you that they had some beams. There's some beams out there. And they poured, sure enough, they poured some concrete out here. There's a form right there. They just poured a big old huge splattering of concrete there, and that's going to be their footing. And that's something. They just dug a big hole with their excavator, and then they just piled up that. They didn't even make a nice little square dirt footing. You know what I mean? But I'm sure there's rebar in there and all kinds of stuff. And then see the gusset strap. What do you want to call it? It's just a. It's there for the 6x6 post. It's a post base, and there's some little feeler arms, flat about yay wide, that go down into that pier. We'll call it a pier, and then it goes like that in the bottom, so that it all holds together. And there's the other pier right over there. Okay, and so I know they're going to put a big old beam across there, and they'll probably do something really nice to this front entrance, and it's probably all tied together with this front wall. And maybe that's why they didn't build that wall yet, because they wanted to build this first, put the posts up, put the beam up, tie it all in properly before they build this up to it. We'll see, won't we? And what else did they do for that concrete? Remember, I was telling you they're probably going to have to do some they're going to do some concrete out here, and sure enough, here we go. Wow, look at all this. They dug this really deep, and they've got 3 different piers all together here. And of course they followed the plans, and there's a reason why there's 3, and they had to measure off and stuff. And the guys who formed this, they don't care exactly what all this is for. They just look at the plans, they measure it off, they get their nice straight edge over there, they build that, they pour their concrete there, they've got their box filled up with concrete, and I'm sure they probably looked on the plans, and there's probably some rebar going both directions in the bottom, and there might be some rebar that comes up into this to hold this all together. And I'm sure they're going to do something here with the big huge beam that goes across here, and then there's another one that goes across from there over to there, and they'll probably build something across here, and this will probably be a covered patio, and a portion of it was going to be where these roof trusses are. This first one, see, they stacked them that way, and then they'll flop them up. This first one gets slid over, and it'll probably get slid over all the way to there. Boom, 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 boom. See, there's what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right there. And every 2 feet they're going to do that. So that's 18 feet, and it's probably 18 feet from there over to there, or 16 feet or something like that. And we'll see. Won't that be interesting to see how this is all going to be tied together? And incidentally, what I also wanted to tell you, here's a question for you. Could the concrete guys, remember the other night, I didn't see anything here, and then here, this is just the very next day. And how is that possible that they did all that? Because do you think that they could have built all this and poured all this without any inspections? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'll bet you all this had to be inspected, and the concrete guy probably had to call in and talk to the inspector, and they probably said, hey, Mr. Inspector, we're going to be forming all this stuff out. Can you be there at noon or 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2 o'clock? And the inspector probably told him, oh yeah, sure, I'll be out there between 1 and 2. That way you can schedule your concrete truck out there at 2:30 or say 3 o'clock, and by then I'll have it all inspected, and then you can pour your concrete. And they probably did it all in one day. I'll bet you that's what happened. And then the concrete guy had his guys out here, and they met the inspector out here, and the inspector was probably fine with it. He's probably known this guy for many years. He's probably seen him on different job sites and something like that, and they probably work well together, and they know what the codes are, and they look at the plans. And if there was anything slightly wrong with this, the inspector would have said, well, gee guys, I'd like to see a support on the side there. Go ahead and do that, and I'll sign you off. And they had 3 guys out here, and they cut some little diagonal supports and probably put them on here and stuff. And then the inspector passed it off. You know, or if the inspector needed anything, yeah, I see you've got some rebar at the bottom of the footing, but I want some coming up here. Okay, Mr. Inspector, right away. And hey, Joe, get over there and cut me some pieces and bend them, stick them in here. And as long as the inspector sees that the guy is doing it, even if the guy wasn't done all the way, the inspector's worked with these guys before, he'd say, okay, I'll sign you off. I'll trust you. I'll trust you that you've got these 3 done, and you're going to put them in these other 2. I'll trust you on that, okay? Just take care of it. Be good boys, and I'll sign you off. And that's probably how it happened today. And all of that got done today in one go. Just don't kid yourself. If you think you're gonna go out and you're gonna pour, you're gonna build something like this, and you're gonna get this all ready, and you're gonna go ahead and pour it, and you're not gonna call an inspector out here, think again. The inspector's not gonna like that. Even if you say, oh, hey, I've done this many times over in another county, and I just took pictures of everything on my phone. When the inspector came out the next day or something, he got pissed off at me, I just whip out my camera and show him, okay, here, Mr. Inspector, this is the job site it was at. Here's the rebar in there. Here's this. Here's that. Here was us with the concrete truck out here pouring it and all that kind of stuff. You know, sometimes that could fly. Sometimes, if the inspector's okay with that. Okay. Other times, maybe the inspector's not okay with that. So just remember, do things by the plans, and make sure you call and schedule the inspector, have the inspector come out. When is it ready to pour? After the inspector comes, after he signs you off. Okay? Remember that. Okay. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos, and I'm glad you're here, because my next video, what am I going to talk about? I don't think I'm really going to talk about any of the framing and the trusses and all that kind of stuff. I got that on my channel from before. I've talked about that in detail. Yes, the guys were here today. Yes, they put a little bit of plywood in over there, and they put some plywood in up here, and they were finishing some other plywood, but I know they still got all these trusses to do, so no sense even really going there, right? But the thing I wanted to talk about next time is, what do you suppose it is? Look at that. There's some wire right there. Yes, we're going to start talking about the electrical. The electrician was here this afternoon. As I was taking my walk around the neighborhood, I saw the electricians here, and yes, they don't have to wait until the framers are all done. The guy got in here and got a little head start. So that's what the video's going to be next time.